this is Jason with Denwerks. Wanted to show you my new rig, 1968 AMX. Well, I guess actually it's not new to me. If you remember that I had this on bat right when I first started, actually about a year ago, and so I sold it on Bring a Trailer there, and it was good all the way around. You know, I sold it, and guy loved the car, and he lived down in southern Oregon. His name's Bill, and we actually become kind of friends since then. But lately he had to make some changes, and he's actually going to move to Portland. And so he called me up and said, hey, you know the car just as good as me, or probably better, and could you help me sell it? So we went ahead and shipped it up here, and here we go. We made some changes to it, fixed some of the stuff that wasn't working last time on the car. I'll go through that as we talk, but we'll just start walking around and show you different stuff about it. So it's nice to do a video on it this time because I didn't get to do that last time, and I don't think people realize how nice of a car it was, and because it's spectacular. So we'll go ahead and show you the lights. Got your marker lights down there on the bottom. Got your headlights. We got your blinkers, and we got your bottom light, or your blinker on the other side, sorry. And so if you look down the side of this car, it is amazingly straight. You know, very, very nice. And this car has very little filler on it. I mean, I haven't seen any signs where there's issues or anything. Very, very clean. We'll walk around it here. I'm sure there's some filler on it somewhere. I mean, all classic cars kind of do, but this car was done right, and someone spent a lot of time with it. We'll just look across here during the front here. Actually, a friend of mine that I bought it from him when it was here in Salem. I bought it here locally. His brother actually was a big AMC nut, AMXs and everything. So this was his car, and he owned it, I think, for over 25 years. Well, anyways, his brother passed away, and so he ended up finished the restoration on the car. But I love the way the hood has these bulges here. I mean, it's very cool, especially when you're behind the steering wheel there. One of the flaws here, there's a little tiny paint crack right there. It's bumped up just a tiny bit. Hopefully you can see that. It's very minimal, and but I think something was on the radiator support there and bumped it up a long time ago. You'll see a little chip right here. Very few chips on this car, actually, and you'll see one right here on the edge of the fender there. But overall, the paint's real nice and glossy. It's not orange peely or anything. You look at the grill. The grill is really nice. No cracks in it. I mean, it's in excellent shape. The chrome is real nice on the car as well. We'll look here at the wheels. Original Magnum 500s with American Motors caps. You know, they look real nice. No bubbles or anything across the rockers. I'll have it on my lift and do a video as well. And very, very clean. And we'll look here at the gutters. Again, really nice. You know, no rust there at all. And if you've noticed, if you've watched any of my videos, they're kind of lengthy. I'm just trying to show you stuff about the car. I'm not doing it for entertainment value or anything like that. I just want you to see what you're buying. You can see here around the wheel well, there's no bubbles or anything. Very, very nice. There was a rust spot fixed on the car originally right there, and that was repaired, but that was the only rust that was repaired on the car. And it's got original floors in it as well. You look down the side of the car here, very, very nice. And let's go ahead and show us the lights here. You got tail lights now. We got blinkers left and right, and then we'll show brake lights. The brake lights work. Even the license plate light works. You have the lights on still? License plate light there works as well. And so you can see here it's got dual exhaust. We'll go around the rear window. You know, again, no rust, no bubbles. You know, very, very clean. And these really are a unique design. They're their own car. You know, like AMX is really the whole body's different than a regular Javelin. You know, it's a 2-seater, and that's really unique in the pony cars and stuff. So it's the only pony car really that's a 2-seater. We'll look here behind the rear wheel. Very nice. We've been out driving it, so it's just a little dirty back there, but again, no bubbles. Look around the lip. You know, again, really nice. I like how this body line comes here. Very cool. This is a factory 390 car. I'll show you underneath the hood. It's running 343 in it right now, though. I like the big emblems there. We'll look across the bottom of this rocker as well. You know, again, very, very nice. I like the rocker moldings too. I just think it's a nice touch. And I like the, you know, it's just not a plain mirror. This is a remote mirror, by the way. It's just a lot of design. No chips in the windshield or anything as well. You can see here the VIN on the dash too. So anyways, we'll go ahead and show you some other stuff on the car. Sorry for talking your ear off. Oh, one other thing I'll mention real fast. That little chin spoiler on there, I mean, it looks like something homemade. That was actually an option. I don't know if that's an original one, but that was actually an option you could get on these cars over the counter. So it's kind of cool that it's on there. So we'll take a look at some other stuff. Okay, here we are. We're going to take a look underneath the hood. The little latch right there in the grill. You just lift it up, and there you go. It's actually a really beautiful engine compartment. Looks really, really nice in here, and just restored excellently. And but you can see right there on the air cleaner, it says 390. This is a factory 390 car. If you look at the VIN number right here, you'll see the A8 for 1968, and you got M and the X, and that denotes that it is a 390 car from the factory, and is a factory 4-speed. I'm glad that they made the decoding so easy on these cars. So, but this engine that's in here, as I mentioned before on the other auction, is actually a 343 and a 390. Look identically the same. There's some differences obviously on the internals and stuff, but they used a lot of the same components, intakes, and all that stuff. But you'll see in the auction a lot of detailed photos of a 390, and that's very close to, they didn't really date correct these cars. I mean, they have to be sort of close, and they didn't VIN stamp them as well. So it was an engine that was with the car, with a couple of the cars, so no one knows if it was an original motor to the car, but it's actually a really good motor, and it's got a lot of different parts and stuff. So if you ever wanted to change it, you could do that, and or you could just build that motor and put it on a stand next to the car. So anyways, we'll go ahead and start it up, and you can hear it run. You know, it sounds really good, very, very smooth. You know, it's not wobbling all over the place. Pretty quiet motor, but it has a lot of power, and it's a pretty quick little car in general. You can see here it's got power steering, and it's got power brakes as well. You can see the wiper motor. All that stuff's been restored. You know, you look at all the bracketry, all really, really nice. You know, you look over here, the springs, they've been plated. You can see all this stuff has been plated. You know, it's really nice underneath the hood. And this number, I'm not sure exactly how to put that on the valve cover, but you look up here in the aprons, really nice, and no accident damage at all. You can see the aprons, again, look in really good shape. You know, on both sides, the shock towers look nice as well. You look up underneath the hood here, you know, no damage. You know, it's not rusty. If you look on the inside there, again, very, very clean. And go ahead and rev it up one more time. We'll go around here to the back. You can see the exhaust. You know, no blue smoke or anything. It sounds good. Rev it up. You know, it sounds nice. So anyways, we'll go ahead and show you some other stuff on the car. Hey, here we are. We're going to take a look at the interior. First, I'll show you that the key does work. Stick it in there. Actually, I gotta show you it's locked first, sorry. Go ahead and unlock it. You know, it's really nice in the interior. Very, very clean. And look across the dash. I love the way the steering wheel looks. And I really like the way the 4-speed looks. I love cars with 4-speed, and I mean, they're just fun to drive. I like what AM did with these cars, AMC. I like the material on the seats, you know, all the perforations and stuff. Very, very cool. In '68, they started putting headrest on cars. That was actually mandatory. And you know, you look at the door panels, really, really clean and look really nice. Right here is how you lock it. You just push that down. You know, it's kind of different. You know, normally you see something up there. But you look at all the rubber gaskets. You look at all the channels. Very nice. You see the rubber around here. See original VIN tag as well, and the body model trim and color is there as well. Let's go ahead and roll the window up. You can see the windows rolling. You know, they roll up and down nice. Go ahead and roll it down. Go ahead and hop on the other side and we'll take a look at that one. We'll look inside the jam here. You know, again, very, very clean. Absolutely no rust. I like the stainless here. American Motors again. You can see up here in the jam, hasn't been hit or anything, no rust at all. When I had it before, I actually had these floor mats made with the AMX on it. I thought they looked kind of cool. Hard to see it in the camera there. And go ahead and roll that window up over there. You can see it rolls up and down. That was making a little squeak. Go ahead and look behind the seat. Hard to do with one hand. There we go. You can see the behind the seat here, there is no seat. You know, this is a 2-seater, and that's the way they built them. You know, it's not an AMX, or it's not a Javelin. You know, AMX is its own body. They actually shorten the cars up, and it's pretty unique. You can look here behind the seat, you know, in nice shape as well, and very cool. This little ratchet, I'm not going to do it with one hand, but you can ratchet it and recline the seat too. So we'll go ahead and look at the gauges. As I mentioned before, when I'm driving, I fix the temp, fix the fuel gauge. The tack works. You can see the miles, 16,067 now, and you can see the clock is actually working. Kind of a cool option too, this car, and I didn't say it had it before on the other auction, but it's a tilt wheel as well. So we'll go ahead and hop on the other side and take a look. Okay, here we are on the passenger side. Go ahead and unlock it. You know, again, very nice. You know, I was going to show you that other door too. It actually shuts really nice. I mean, very smooth. You look at the body line, looks good. And we'll go ahead and look from this side as well. You can see the dash. You know, the glove box is right there. You can see a little bit of this little cover here. There's a little bit of paint right there coming off, and it's kind of flaking. This little panel actually comes off, and it probably needs to be repainted. You can see the Hearst shifter. As I mentioned before, the radio doesn't work and the cigarette lighter's not working. There's an oil pressure gauge. You can look at this seat. You know, really nice condition, and I just like the styling. You can see the floor mat. You know, very cool. You know, here's a little vent. You pull this in and out. I like the headliners in these. They're not actually a plastic headliner or vinyl. It's actually like aluminum or something, but I like the design of it. It's actually pretty neat. And go ahead and look at the jams. You can see the original spot welds and stuff on it. You know, again, no damage or anything. Look across here in the inner jam. Actually, it looks really good. Look at the rubber. Again, it's very nice. We show pictures of underneath the doors. Again, they're not rusty or anything. We'll go ahead and take a look at the trunk now. You know, it's very, very clean inside the trunk. Looks really good. It's got the original spare, original inflator. I like how they went with that theme color-wise, red, white, and blue. You can see around the trunk. Very, very clean. This light, you can see here, it works. I was following that wire, forgot, oh yeah, it's got a light. You can see the light works. You can see this has been finished. You know, it hasn't been painted. This has been cadmium finished. See, here's a reproduction sticker. You can see it's not rusty out the bottom of the trunk lid. You know, this is the factory undercoating in here. And I guess if I owned it again, I'd probably paint that gray or something, but that's just the way they looked. And you look up inside there, you know, no accidents. You look at the floor, you know, very, very clean and no issues. And you look here, I'm not going to take the spare tire out right now, but you'll see photos of it. You can see the taillight panel, you know, hasn't been hit or anything. And it looks real good. You can see this has been plated as well. This is kind of cool too. I was mentioning about you know, the headrest. Another thing that the automotive industry did is you had to have a headrest and you had to put marker lights on the side of the car. You'll see them up there on the side on the front, but AMC actually integrated it. Instead of putting an old ugly marker light here, they integrated it into the tail lights. So that's pretty neat. And so that was a good idea. So, and I like this little badge right here. I like little stupid stuff, but I think that's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and show you some other stuff. I'm going to put it on my lift and let you take a look. Hey, here we're out driving the AMX. Super fun to drive. You know, you can see we were having a little fun a minute ago. And but you know, this car drives really nice, factory 4-speed. You can tell it in the VIN, and no question what it is. But it's just a nice looking car, and I love the way the interior looks in these. You can see the steering wheel here is in pretty good shape. Wood on the outside, there's a little crack right here. You can see a little tiny crack in the steering wheel. The horn, it actually works on the two buttons, but it doesn't work on this button here. Across the dash, everything's working. There's a couple improvements that we made to it from last time. The temperature gauge didn't work, and the fuel gauge didn't work last time, so now we have it working. But you know, the speedometer works, the tachometer works as well. You know, the miles on it's 16,055, and I think when I sold it last time, it had 15,901 or something like that. But there's a clock over here on the left. You probably can't see it. And it works. Windshield wipers work as well, but the squirters aren't working, and the radio doesn't work, and the cigarette lighter doesn't work. So we did some improvements for it for sure. You know, it's pretty common. Radios don't work in a lot of old cars. It's not the factory ones of the car anyways, but I guess just really the only things to do in here is you know, just figure out a radio and that, and maybe this horn button. You can see here the heater works. I don't know if you can hear the fan. I can hear the fan running. I don't know if you can hear it. But anyways, it looks nice across the dash. You can see here AMX 5974. That doesn't really, no one knows what that number really means. It doesn't really correspond to a VIN. I mean, maybe it does in some old factory stuff from the factory, but they never, no one knows what that number goes to, what VIN number and stuff. So hey, here we are underneath the AMX. We're doing a video on it this time. As you know, we already had it on there like we've talked before, but I only had still photos before, and all the pictures you see on the auction are new still photos too. So we didn't use any of the photos that we had before. So, but I wanted to do a video underneath of it so I could show you different things. We can talk about different things. And if I said before, the first thing I look at when I go look at a car is I crawl underneath, look at the frame rails, look at the floors, Look at the rockers, so the structure's everything. So anyways, we'll just walk around this car and just show you different stuff. And so we'll start here up in the front. You can see the core support, radiator support, very, very nice. And no damage, hasn't been hit. If you look here, inside the inner frame rails, very good shape. You look up here in the spring perches, very good condition. I haven't seen any accident damage on this car. You look up here behind the headlights, up here in the headlight buckets, all very clean and looks good. And we'll come across here, see the inner frame rails as well. No crinkles or anything, and no rust. And you can look here, no drips coming off the steering box. We'll come up here and look at this frame rail on this side. Again, it looks very, very good. You know, up there by the spring perch, you know, again, no damage. You can see up here the headlight area and the cord support, very clean. And we'll look here at the bottom of the motor. As I mentioned before, it's a 343. The only way that you would actually physically see that, you know, like I mentioned before, the blocks are exactly the same. You'll see this number right up underneath here. Hopefully you can see that. Actually, it's on the other side here. You can see 343 up there, tucked up underneath the motor mount. And so even if you were crawling underneath it without a light, you wouldn't know. But like I said before, I have another block and engine assembly and stuff, so if you wanted to put it back in, you could. But the engine's real clean. You don't see any drips or anything. Everything looks very nice underneath here. You can see it's got dual exhaust on it as well. The transmission, you know, obviously a 4-speed. It's got a little bit of seeping right here on the back. I've seen one drip on the floor when it sits, and so I don't know exactly where it's coming from, but you can see a little residue there. I just wanted to make that noticed. Actually, I can see a little residue right here as well, but looks pretty minor. And if you look at the frame rails here, again, very, very clean. This is the factory undercoating underneath of it, and looks nice. You look at the rockers, you know, they're not rusty, very good condition. You can see the drain holes here aren't plugged or anything like that, and you can see here on the rocker, very good. You can see the numbers on the back of the tranny, T10. Look at this frame rail here. You know, again, very nice. Hasn't been jacked up or anything like that. Okay, you can come up here, look at the sway bars. You know, they look good, the bushings and everything. You can see the bushing here, looks in good shape. You know, the ball joints look in nice shape too. I don't see any cracking. And we'll come around here to the other side as well. You know, the bushings all look good, and you see this bushing on here. You know, it's not cracked or anything, and it looks pretty nice. There's that last one right there. So anyways, we'll walk back here. We'll look at the rear floors. You know, again, really nice condition. One thing that it didn't have before on the last auction, you can see right here, it has the emergency brake hooked up. We didn't have this cable, so we installed it now, so the emergency brake does work. So that's a good thing. And so we tried to improve it. You know, like I said, on, you know, different things that it had last time it was auctioned on Bring a Trailer. You can see here, frame rail looks excellent. A lot of times you'll see them rusty or kinked, you know, if they were hit. But again, this is very, very straight. You know, no rust here on the back shackle. You know, very clean. Look at the bottom of the quarters. You can see it's a little dirty there, but you can see the original spot welds going across the bottom. You can see the spot welds up around the wheels. You can see the inner tubs look good, and they're not rusty. You can see a little bit of there's a dent there on the bottom of the gas tank. It's a hard gas tank to find, and but it does have a dent there. You can see here the frame rail. Get on this side, very, very clean. No kinks, no accidents, no rust, and it looks nice. You can see here on the bottom of the fender, you can see there's a little filler here, not much, but I can see the spot welds have been covered up there. You can see here the inner drop-off pan looks really good though, and I don't see any issues there. You can see the drains not plugged as well. I'll show you here on this side too. You can see the drop-off, very nice. You can see the drain isn't plugged, and we'll just come around here. Look at the rear end. Looks like it's been resealed. Mechanically, car's in pretty good shape. We'll look here on the front of right here on the frame rail as well, and it looks good, and no issues. But you look back here on the rocker. So anyways, I hope that gives you a good idea what it looks like underneath. Make sure to look at the auction photos as well. Read the comments, because sometimes I add different stuff in there as well as we're talking. So anyways, ask questions, email, give me a call. Be glad to help. Thank you.